Okay, as my E8600 binning kind of failed, both of the good CPUs I managed to get earlier this summer, they were very bad on LN2, like very weird behavior and so on, like very bad core wise, 6.5 max on the other CPU, and the other one was only like 6 GHz or something. So I just decided to move on to the last important 775 CPU that I haven't tried properly yet. So the Core 2 Duo E6600 from 2006. So we will be doing that now. I just set all the settings. So this one should be good for 600 plus FSP. So I will just get the temperatures right and I will see how this performs in the OS. .8 seconds away from the top score. Okay, we are almost beating the W Prime 32 top score, so only like 16 or 26 millisecond away, or 16, but I'm like 100 megahertz lower frequency. So this proves that my operating system is very efficient. So we can do a tiny bump. This should be enough. 5640. No. Run again. No. So increase a little bit more. Previous top was 5715, so like 60 megahertz higher than this. Minus 146 degrees. I first struggled with the temperature, so I was playing at around too warm, like minus 125, because Q6600 liked a bit higher temperature or warmer temperature, so at around like minus 125 or 120. No. Dun record. and that is the W Prime 32 record at, or a score of 13.891. Previous top score was 13.969, so like 70 to 80 milliseconds faster, so very good result. Let's try high fast quickly, but it should be harder if I'm correct. Yep, crashed. So close to record score now. That's it. And that is the PyFast record or top score of 16.50. Previous top score was 16.52. In server 2003 I think, but it was made at 630 FSP, so 5670, we are at 5648, so I'm more efficient. So I like to use this operating system for this, so we can the key why I was having issues was actually the memory controller. So the Northbridge MCH, so the memory controller hub, doesn't seem to work that happily with this E6600 compared to other CPUs. So I had lots of issues with 200 strap as well as 266 strap. So now I'm using 333 strap at 2000 megahertz, and it has great performance and it works well, although I cannot run the performance level as tight as with those lower straps. So we can do one more attempt. So let's increase to 530, 5677. No. So it's on the edge with better temperature, should pass. And see, improved score of 16.44 at 5663 megahertz. Memory is 2010, 674, 20 command rate 1 timings. So pretty good. We can do one more attempt, just out of interest. Not much improvement. code bug. But yeah, that's how you break these top scores. Okay, and that is the W Prime 1024M record at 5634. The previous top score was 473 seconds, so I improved the record by 9 seconds. So it's quite a large gain if you ask me. So yeah, 2000 MEMS, 67420, 72 command rate 1, Rampage Extreme. I think the previous one was on Rex as well, or P5E3 Premium, not fully sure, but Rampage Extreme is better than the P5E3 Premium. Yeah, so definitely awesome. Now I will move on to SuperPi and so on. Almost. Running around 144, 45 for SuperPi 32M. So this should be well below 9 minutes if this passes. So yeah, loop 8 at the moment. Okay, and that is the SuperPi 32M record with the E6600 at 5.535 megahertz or gigahertz. So 5.535 gigahertz, 615 FSP. MEMS are 1844, I think. Yeah, 664, 1857 command rate 1, Rampage Extreme. 8 minutes, 48.766 seconds. So this run was around like 12 seconds faster than the previous top score made by, well, Sam, posted by Extreme Addict on Hardware Bot. So definitely happy. One of the hardest categories ever in the history of overclocking. E6600 was hugely popular CPU when it came out back in 2006. So E6600 has probably been one of the most popular desktop CPUs ever, like in the history of computers. So now I will just try 1M and maybe validation, and that's pretty much it for this CPU. yeah, that's pretty much it. So Superpie 1M top score with E6600. This was probably the hardest benchmark record I've faced this weekend. So 8.8 seconds, 750 milliseconds, so 8.75 seconds as the score. Previous top by Sam at or posted by Extreme Addict from Poland, 8.765 seconds. So I beat the previous top score by 15 milliseconds. So very good result overall. So we can close that. Yep. And now I'm only missing the validation. We can do this. So 5786 is the highest validation. The best temperature is around like -145, which I already showed you. If I set too high voltage, Vico I mean, it actually becomes worse. So the best voltage is around 2 volts. $5770. $5784. Yeah, I think I got it. Yes. Yes. Oh. Oh well, 5A plus validated. Damn awesome. Okay, so that's pretty much the end with the E6600. Definitely amazing results overall. So I managed to take down every single top score with the Quad Q Duo E6600, not with the Pentium E6600. And for me, the E6600 is very important CPU because it has a lot of historical value. When it came out to the retail market back in 2006, it got hugely popular because it offered crazy performance gains compared to the previous generation. And the E6600, the Quad Q Duo version, could also be like one of the most popular CPU models ever in the history of desktop computer and overclocking in general. So it's very amazing to beat the top scores with a popular CPU like that. And I also managed to do the top scores with the Quad Q6600 like a couple of years ago. And the Q6600 is like an E6600 X2, like a dual version. So the Q6600 has like two E6600 chips next to each other on top of the same PCB. So they are pretty much the same, they overclock the same. The only difference is that the Q6600 just has the twice the amount of cores pretty much. So yeah, so I was able to validate over 5.8 GHz as the first person in the world. Very amazing result considering the stock frequency of 2.4 GHz with these CPUs. I think I could have validated that 5A13, but I was too greedy and I tried to go even higher. So max frequency ended up being 5805 MHz. Still an awesome result. The SuperPi 1M was extremely tough one and probably the hardest score to beat during this entire weekend. So the previous top score was by Sam at 8.765 seconds and I was able to take that down to 8.750. So 15 milliseconds improvement there. In 1M you just need a very high CPU frequency and a very good operating systems. Memories do matter, but not by a huge lot compared to something like 32M. So you need like a good baseline on the memories, but tuning them too much will not gain you that much really. PiFast I was able to do multiple better scores than the previous one, and I was even able to do like 16.3 something, but it hung when I tried to save the screen. But of course I can revisit that later if I want to. And yeah, 32M 8 minutes 48 seconds, so 12-second improvement, and there's still headroom left if I wanted to improve. The main issue was actually in the North Bridge with this CPU. So the memory controller was kind of flaky when the E6600 was installed in the socket, but it can be like that sometimes with some CPU models. I have to check that later. So that's pretty much the end for that. Then W Prime, the 32M version. I think the top score was 13.859 or something. Significantly better than the previous one anyways, and I was able to even go higher in frequency than the previous golden CPU. The 1024M, 9-second improvement there. Could be even more, but can do that later if I wanted to. So yeah, so that's pretty much the end. Those are the important benchmarks when it comes to 2D overclocking with these old CPUs, because those were the tests people ran in those days. Of course I could do some Citybench as well, but those aren't generally run in Windows XP and so on, because back in the day, you know, like in 775, people used to run 32-bit operating systems and so on. And for Citybench and so on you need a 64-bit operating system. Of course you can use XP64, but it was kind of flaky in those days and not as popular as the 32-bit versions. So yeah, so Rampage Extreme, Team Finland edition, and I definitely recommend you get the Kimping Cooling F1 Dark for these old CPUs. It is absolutely perfect for these old CPUs. I have to admit that me as myself, I have been dumb when I have been using those cheapo containers with these old CPUs. You can get much better performance and end result with a container like the F1 Dark. Single piece of copper, so it weighs around 3.1 kilograms, and it's very easy to control the temperatures with these CPUs using that container. Definitely awesome. These are the brand new LP hyper-based memories I purchased from Taobao from China, and they are the older revision of Hyper, so the MHN-E, not the newer MGH-E. These are very rare. Most of the MHN are already dead, so very insane result overall, and it's very cool to use memories like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the end. I still have like 10 liters left. I might try another chip still with that, and now the only thing that's left is E8600, but it's very hard to bin those. So E6600, Q6600, E4300, well, E8500, E8400. With E8500 I can still revisit that and rerun some of those scores I lost to Sam once again. But yeah, I have got many top scores with the CPU models that are very important to me, so I'm very happy. So if you like to see these scores with the E6600, then please give a thumbs up and like and share this video if you like to see them. And thanks for watching once again, and I will see you on the next one.